So I'm Dr. Mahjabin Fatima, welcomes you all present here. We are gathered here for a SAGE talk on digital image processing. Today's SAGE talk speaker is Professor Shilpa Datar. She is working as assistant professor in Department of Electronics and Instrumentation in SETI Vidisha. She has more than 25 years of teaching experience. She published more than 40 papers in reputed journals and conferences. Many MTech students accomplished their dissertation work under her guidance. Her area of research is multi-rate signal processing, biosignal processing, and image processing. So I welcome you, Shilpa Madam.
Thank you, Fatima.
Good morning. Now
am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Yes, you are audible. Now I hand over my mic to Shilpa Madam. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Fatima ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. And I think I should start right away to save time. So I will be sharing my PPT with you all. I think my audience belong to 3rd semester and 5th semester students of BTech course. So I have prepared the PPT accordingly, keeping it very brief and introductory. It gives a brief introduction about, Fatima ma'am, I get a message that host has disabled participant screen sharing. So kindly.
Yes, I'm giving this control to you. Just wait. Yes, now you can share.
Okay. Okay, is the screen visible to all of you?
Yes, yes, this is visible. You are audible?
Yeah. So should I start?
Yes, please carry on.
Yeah, okay. So dear students, I am going to give a brief introduction about digital image processing today. The fundamentals involved and the very basics which you will need for say if you have some interest in research in this topic or in this area, if you want to proceed further. So to get a start with it, how to start or getting started with DIP, I can say. So let's right away start with the presentation. The contents of this presentation will include, after say listening to this lecture, what you will gain. So that is, you will know about what is digital image processing, the image fundamentals, the origin of digital image processing or the history of digital image processing, you can say. Then we'll see briefly the components or the elements which form the part of digital image processing. We'll be also seeing a brief review of, it's a huge topic otherwise, so I will be giving you only a brief review of some of the fundamental steps used in digital image processing and some basic image processing operations. And lastly, we'll be covering about the various applications of digital image processing. It is a hugely growing area and it has been growing since 1960s, and it is being all of you are using your mobile and 24/7, and without digital image processing, it would not have been possible for all those interfaces, all those apps, all those facilities you are using on a mobile. They are not possible. They were not possible without the application of digital image processing. To start with, when I say digital image processing, what do you understand by digital image processing? So if we take the title separately, you should know what is the meaning of digital, what is the meaning of image, and what is the meaning of processing, and as a whole, what this term means or what is the significance of digital image processing. So let us start with understanding what is an image. You all know about image, a picture or an image. It is a very effective tool of communication. A picture will, there is a saying that a picture is, or an image is worth, say, 1,000 words. So it means that with the help of an image, you can express the contents which you can express in 1,000 words. So such is the importance of image in, say, effective communication. So what are images? Technically, if we say, they are a way of recording and presenting information in visual form. So if we want to record some information in visual form, or if you want to present that data in visual form, we can do it with the help of images. When we talk technically, we again have to go into types of images involved in all the technical areas which we use, which make use of the images. In those areas, we can have the classification as the analog images and the digital images. So as you have studied about analog and digital signals, you must have studied, at least, I think 5th semester students must have studied about signals and systems in their early courses, and 3rd semester students must be studying about those signals and systems. So you can say, you can consider image also a sort of a signal, because it gives some sort of information. So what we say, how we define an analog image? And analog image, it represents a continuous range of values. So in a signal or an information, you know, if what is continuous, what does it mean? It is continuous in terms of its position and amplitude. Okay. But what is digital? When we discretize analog quantities in terms of their coordinates and amplitude, we get a digital equivalent of that input signal. So digital image is also a kind of discretization of analog images. That is discretization in, say, coordinates, in spatial coordinates, as well as the discretization of their amplitudes. That results in a digital image. And every digital image, it is composed of finite number of picture elements. We call them as pixels. You must be aware of this terminology because you are using your mobile day to day, and you must be using your, say, laptops and images. And those who are well aware of all these technologies, they must be knowing about what is pixel resolution, etc. So this is a block diagram explaining how a digital image can be obtained from an analog image. So if we have an analog image, I told you we can discretize it in the spatial coordinates as well as the discretization of its amplitude. So what is this known as? The discretization of the coordinates in terms of the coordinates is known as sampling of the signal. Here we are going for sampling of the image. So sampling the analog image converts it into discretized signal in terms of its coordinates, and then further quantization of that signal converts it into a say complete digital signal, because it is discretized in amplitude also. So finally, after sampling and quantization of an analog signal, you get a analog image. In this case, see, signal image is nothing but a two-dimensional signal. आप जो भी one dimension signals पढ़ते हैं, analysis पढ़ते हैं, वो सारी analysis digital images पे भी equally applicable, because image is nothing but a 2D signal. So if we know what is a digital image, now you know what is a digital image and why we need to go for the processing of these images, that we'll see when we see its applications. But what do you mean by digital image processing? When we process these digital images with the help of some computing machine. Okay, so that is, if I say, if I have digital images with a particular digital image with me, and if you want to enhance its visual perception, or if we want to say, for a very simple example, if sometimes you take a picture on your mobile and you want to improve its image quality, you go for, say, increasing its contrast, or you apply some kind of filter to it. What is this? This is all image processing. and how it is possible because of the technological advancements in computer or computing machines, you can say. So processing the digital images by means of computer or a machine is termed as digital image processing. Now, technically, if I say if digital image mujhe define karna hai, how I will define? It is a two-dimensional function, say represented by fxy. Suppose x and y are the spatial coordinates. See, in one-dimensional signal, what is the general representation of a signal? On x-axis, you have the time variable, and on the y-axis, you have the amplitude variable. In a 2D signal, we have the analogous quantity to time here is space. So we are defining a particular point with respect to its spatial coordinates, and we are defining its amplitude as its the corresponding point, whatever point you're taking into consideration, what is its intensity level or what is its illumination level. In terms of image, when we say it is the illumination produced at that particular point, which is giving you the intensity level, which is the amplitude of that particular pixel. So we define an image by fxy, where x and y are the spatial coordinates, and the amplitude of this function, it defines the intensity at a particular point whose coordinates are defined by x and y. I hope it's all audible and visible to you. You may respond, any of you, if you want to ask something also, you may ask. Is it okay?
Yes, this is audible.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So it can be represented by this fxy image can be represented by digitally. When you say it is nothing but a matrix, a simple mathematical matrix, you know about. What is a matrix? It is an arrangement of numbers in rows and columns. A digital image is nothing less than that. Usme sirf aapko ek image ka, you can imagine that it is a kind of a matrix containing m rows and n columns. So you can say it is represented like this. Any digital image can be represented like this. fxy, it is an arrangement of pixel intensity values in the form of rows and columns. So it looks like this. This is a standard representation of any image fxy, where, say, for example, this is the first element, which is defined by the coordinate 0, 0, and f00, it's the amplitude of this particular point. So we call it as a pixel. So there are number of pixels. How many number of pixels are there in this image? It is m into n, where m is the number of rows and n is the number of columns. So if I say take an example how it looks like, actually it is nothing but a arrangement of integer values in rows and columns. So this is a digital image, a very smallest example of a digital image. This is that is why you can actually go for processing through computing machines. All these integer values can be represented in the binary form, and hence they are processable by any kind of digital computing machine. And that is why you can make use of the huge advancement in computing technology in applying this technology in image processing. This is a very early kind of digital image. It started with the history of DIP. You can started with this original newspaper industry imaging, which was transferred. This image was first transmitted by Bartlett cable picture transmission system, and it transmitted this image from London to New York for the publishing of article in newspaper. And that was in 1920. Although we call it a digital image, but it was not at that time. The computers were not available, and you cannot say that this is a digital image which can be processed on a computer, but it is a kind of digital image because it was transferred in the form of discrete signals. This is the improvisation in the system, again by the same Bartlett system. They improvised their system, and this is another example of initial digital image in 1920s. So in 1920s, 30s, this was the technology, and these were the images available, which we can term as digital. But actual digital image processing started with, say, at the invention and advancements in computing technology. So we can say this was the first picture by a US spacecraft, Ranger 7, and it was taken in July 31, 1964. So we can say the first computers powerful enough to carry out meaningful image processing tasks, they appeared in early 1960s. So we can say this DIP, actual DIP started with with the decades of 60s and 70s. A brief review of what advancement in computer area leads to digital image processing development. Yes, anyone wants to say something? Okay. So I can tell you how it started with the invention of, say, transistor in 1948. That is the landmark discovery in electronics area that changed the whole scenario or revolutionized the whole industry, you can say. So the development in electronics area with the invention of transistors and ICs, and parallelly improvement in high-level programming languages. See, this was the next invention, which was again a landmark invention. That was in 1958. And here in Texas Instruments, their first ICs were, say, built up. And then advancements in the integrated circuit area, where large number of components were, say, fabricated on a single chip, and the capacity of the ICs went on increasing exponentially, leading to, say, present VLSI, ULSI circuits. And that is why we can say the development of microprocessors by Intel in early 1970s, then personal computer by IBM in 1981, and large-scale ICs productions in late 70s, and VLSI technology was available in 1980s. And we can say it led to the present state ultra large scale integrated circuit technology, which made possible huge mass storage and also advancements in display systems. All these factors led to the say current status of digital image processing. It has helped, or it has contributed a lot in what we see digital image processing in the current era. Now, what are the objectives of digital image processing? Why we actually need it? I'm going a bit faster because of limitation of time, because otherwise we'll not be able to complete even the introductory part. So anyway, if you have any queries, you can ask in between also. So what is the main objective of digital image processing? One of the objectives, as I told you, whatever you do with your mobile every day, that is the first objective is the improvement of pictorial information for human interpretation or for human perception. Whatever you see, your eyes should see the image and it should respond that yes, it's very good, or it's very beautiful, or it is very clear. Such type of reaction coming from human minds, that is because of the enhancement in the images. If the image is not looking good, you can go for contrast stretching, you can go for, say, filter applications, or you can convert it into, say, if it is a color image, you can convert it into black and white or a gray image. All these processes, these are one of the, say, aspects of DIP. Another aspect is, which is currently area of research, you can say, that is computer vision, that is processing of image data for autonomous machine perception. आप machine learning और computer vision की बात करते हैं, तो images को लेकर आप उसमें image data को लेकर उसको process करके you can go for say increasing the capacity of computers in say artificial intelligence or understanding the image data and then interpreting it also. So that is another aspect of DIP. Still another aspect is, again, why you need image processing. Suppose you have huge number of image data generated. For example, if you are going for, say, weather prediction department and huge number of data is available, every day it is coming, every second the data is coming, and it has to be stored, say, efficiently. Or if suppose you want to transmit, say, for example, if you have some kind of medical images and they are to be transmitted from one place to another, then in all these cases, you need to reduce the size of the data. And in that case, you need to go for image compression. So that is one of the aspects. Image compression is one of the aspects of digital image processing. So we say it helps in efficient storage and transmission of image data. What are the types of digital images? There are binary images, grayscale images, or color images, which can further be classified into, say, RGB images, HSI images, and CMYK images. How they look actually, you can see this is a binary image in which there are only two colors, white and black, 0 or 1. The matrix for this image will contain only 0 and 1. जो matrix अभी मैंने आपको बताई, this digital image will have only 0 and 1 values in it. This is a grayscale image, which is again having no color information, but there are different shades of gray present, from, say, pure black to pure white. So this may have number of gray levels depending on what is the size of a particular pixel being represented. Say, एक pixel को represent करने के लिए suppose आपने 3 bits use करें हैं, तो आपके पास 2 to the power 3 यानी 8 levels available होंगे इसकी intensity describe करने के लिए. This is the color representation of the same image. So these are the different types of digital images. This is this on the screen. I'm going to show you this picture. This is a digital image, and if I take or zoom a small part of it, and digitally how it looks, how the computer actually looks at this image. So यदि मैं इसका small part आपको expand करके बताएं, तो this is what is this? This is showing you the different pixels in this area. How many pixels you are seeing here of this huge image? You are seeing here 6 columns and 6 rows. So this 6 by 6 part of this image, a very small part of this big image, is seen or expanded here. And you see the different pixels have got different shades. You can see here, suppose this is a white, you see here, this is a white color block. And what is its value? You can see here, this value is 255. So this is actually, it is a 8-bit image. That means it has got 2 to the power 8 intensity levels ranging from 0 to 255. 0 represents black and 255 represents white, and in between are the gray colors. So you can see here, ये pixel, this is 0, this value is 0, so it looks black, and this pixel, it is 255, it looks white. In between, जो gray shades है, say 170, it lies in between. So this will be looking as this gray color. Okay, so this is how the pixels actually look depending on what their intensity level is in the digital representation of its image. So what is a grayscale image? It can be a binary image if it is a 2-bit image. As I told you earlier, 0 and 1 यदि आप use कर रहे हैं intensity levels, so सिर्फ 0 and 1 है, तो it is a 2-bit image. If you are using an 8-bit image, you have got say 256 intensity levels to represent a particular image. That will give you more details about the image. Now, if we have the same image in the color format, how this color image is represented digitally. For representing a RGB image, you will need 3 such matrices. Okay, as I told you, what is it? It is nothing but an array of numbers. So for a color image, you will need 3 such different matrices, each representing the component of red, green, and blue. And all these, they together form the color which you are seeing here. If you are seeing the blue part, then the blue matrix will have the higher amplitudes, red and green will have lower amplitudes. And in this format, जो आप general painting या drawing में आप color combination use करते हैं, the same can be used here. So this is unlike a 8-bit grayscale image, which has one matrix behind it. A 24-bit color image has 3 different matrices of red, green, and blue. I think I will skip and I will show you some application part because the time may not permit us. Fatima ma'am, up to what time we have to continue?
We are having last 6 minutes, ma'am.
Last 6 minutes. Okay. So I will be winding up with the applications. I will skip this part.
Yes.
This I will briefly show you what is spatial resolution and what is intensity resolution. So when we say sampling, you must know about, you know about sampling. So if sampling rate is more, you get a better image quality. But if the sampling rate is less, when we discretize and we go from analog to digital part, when we discretize a signal, you know, for a better quality, you need a higher sampling rate. So you see here 4 images. The sampling for this image is the highest, and this one is the image is having the lowest sampling rate. And hence you see this clarity, picture clarity is more in this image as compared to this one. Similarly, if you have, as I told you, एक pixel को हमें represent करना है, तो हम उसको 2-bit, 3-bit, 4-bit, whatever number of bits you can use. More are the number of bits used to represent the intensity level at a pixel, more better or better will be the picture quality. You see, this is a 1 bit per pixel picture where 1 pixel can be represented either by 0 or 1. So it is a binary image. But this picture is having 256 gray levels because each pixel is represented by 8 bits. So you get a better picture quality here. So as you increase the number of bits, the number of bits will increase the picture quality, better resolution, and that resolution is known as the intensity or gray level resolution. Skip this. I'll briefly show you about what are the major parts of the image processing system. For the image processing system, actually the scene which you are covering, that image is to be acquired with the help of image sensors. That image sensor converts, it will give you an image, maybe in analog format. You have to convert it into digital using image processing hardware, and you can store it in a computing machine, which is having some kind of image processing software, through which you can apply different techniques or processes on that particular digital image. With that image, you can either store it after compression. For example, image processing software is suppose used for compression, then that can be used for mass storage because since you need a huge amount of data to store it, you can reduce it by compression. Or you can go for image display, or you can go for, say, printing that particular image. So with the help of this computer, you can, what all things you can do with the particular image. These are the things which can be done with the computer. You obtain first and the image is acquired, it is converted into digital format, it is stored in the computer, and then you can do whatever you like to do with it. And you can also connect it to the network and transmit it from one place to another. These are the various image processing operations, which include image enhancement, restoration. Say, okay, so start with image acquisition. You can enhance it, you can restore the images which are blurred, you can go for segmentation, you can go for image compression or image representation and description. I'll skip this part, we don't have the time. I'll just go to the application part. There are huge number of application areas for digital image processing. These are the list which I'm giving you is a very, it is a small part of it. So the images can be used, images can be restored if they are blurred. They can be efficiently transmitted and encoded. They can be, the image processing techniques can be applied for computer vision or robot vision. We can go for color processing of the images, and a very wide range of applications is present in medical field. You can even do video processing, making use of these image processing techniques. It is helpful in astronomical imaging, remote sensing, or even in automation in manufacturing processes. I'll show you these clips, fast review of all these applications. This is a sort of satellite imaging techniques. The satellite helps in giving you a huge amount of data which can be used in various areas, say defense, or say weather prediction or astronomical imaging. You can, with the help of these imaging techniques, we can understand or study about the space. So Hubble telescope, you must have heard about Hubble telescope, which gives you various say images and help you in study or understanding the space better. This is a weather forecast picture in biometrics, in traffic monitoring, in face detection, in CT scan and image processing is very much used, very commonly used in knowing the data or contents inside our body with the help of CT scan or MRI. That all these are image processing applications. Say you go for the CT scan images and you can process them in order to get a better visual picture, and in order to isolate the areas or gray areas, you can say, or a tumor in a brain, you can identify it with the help of CT scan images. These are the examples of image restoration or deblurring. This is an example of pseudo coloring, which say